Hey everybody, this is Cody Knight 22 here, and welcome to Cody Talks Fanfiction, episode number 16. Brief thing I want to say, had a couple of plans for this week's episode. All of them crashed and burned. I had two plans. I had a plan actually for two episodes. First one didn't work, second one didn't work, so I'm moving on to a third idea. And this idea is actually one that I still deliver on my promise of something different from what I normally do. This is going to be a comics episode of Cody Talks Fanfiction. What do you mean the comics episode? Well, what I mean by the comics episode is that there is a couple of RWBY fan-made comics, some of them more well-known than others, that exist in the world right now. And I happen to have read a couple of them, and by a couple I mean exactly 3 longer-length comics that I could do for the show. So I am going to, well, I'm going to be covering those comics. Now, I will say what the comics are, and you guys may disagree with me on my selection of including one of them as a comic, but really it is a comic. So I'm going to list them. It is going to be Henceforward, RWBYQuest, and Summer Rose Court. You guys may disagree with me on Summer Rose Court being a comic, but it really is. I played through it. And, you know, there's totally not something going on in the upper, let's make it right. Nah, let's go left. Upper left-hand corner of the screen right now. And I played through it, though, a little bit. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining, but it's a comic. Really, it is a kind of a comic style sort of a thing. And that's the way I view those games, so whatever. Plus, I didn't read any other longer-length comics. But that being said, it's time to get started, and this is going to be going, just in case anyone was wondering, chronological order of when I discovered them. That's just, that's going to be how things work. So the first one is going to be Henceforward by KumafromTaiwan on Tumblr. And all of these will be linked to their Tumblrs, as none of them exist on fanfiction.net, obviously. So Henceforward doesn't have a description for me to read in a deep voice, but Henceforward is essentially, it is a future AU that is Blake betrays, spoiler alert for prologue, Blake betrays Team RWBY and shit goes down. I mean, she stabs RWBY, Yang becomes a criminal basically just by just fleeing. And I believe that it was still intentional that she became a criminal, a wanted fugitive, and it was not like, oh, well, now I'm a criminal now because I'm actually guilty of something. I'm pretty sure that it was her saying to make her a criminal so that way she could find Blake. So Yang, so in this AU, it's mostly focused around RWBY and Weiss so far. There is inclusion of Yang. There's an inclusion of Sun, actually, at one point. And there's inclusion of a few other things. But it's mostly around RWBY and Weiss so far. Where RWBY had her teammate leave her. She had her sister leave her. She was stabbed through the chest by one of her teammates. And it's just, it covers this... It just covers their storyline. Now, I will say this. I don't have too many constructive things to really say about these, because this is, first of all, it's not what I normally cover. Second of all, and this is probably the bigger reason, I don't really see, it's harder for me to spot things that are wrong with this. So, this is going to be a big love fest, and, you know, whatever. I'm happy to do it. This is fantastic. This is a great, great story that I adore, that I absolutely adore reading it. You have Kuma does a great job. The illustrations are phenomenal, and the illustrations are possibly my favorite part about this, because the artwork is just great, and I can't really describe it in too many ways. I might insert a little tiny picture. Yeah, I'll insert a picture into the video just to kind of demonstrate. I love the way that Kuma draws. I follow Kuma on Tumblr, actually, and tons of great artwork comes out from that guy, girl. I don't actually know another thing about it. But the story just be above and beyond that, Kuma doesn't speak English great, which is why it's Kuma from Taiwan. And but it is still, regardless, great. And it's translated for Kuma, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to read / understand. And once again, I absolutely love it. I think that the storyline behind it is great. It's a great idea to begin with, of Blake kind of betraying them, going off doing her own thing, of Yang trying to go after Blake, of Ruby holding on to hope that maybe her teammate was acting upon someone else's will and not her own, and that she never really wanted to do this. And it was it's just a great idea, and it's very well executed. I very thoroughly have enjoyed reading every single little bit of this, because you have the plot that is advancing along at a very nice rate. You have things that have been set up, such as involvement from Juniper, that we have yet to hear more from, but you know that when we do, shit's going to go down. Where Juniper, something has happened to Pyrrha, and Juniper is trying to... they're trying to... It seems like Jean is out for revenge, and that he's not going to do too many things because of the revenge. Oh, I should also say this. I forgot to mention this. The White Fang are the primary group involved here, which is what makes things so suspicious with Blake. It's the White Fang. And there's been a lot that's been set up, honestly. I absolutely adore this little AU comic strip. It was the first RWBY comic, longer length comic that I read, and I think I picked it up when it was only like 6 or so chapters in the future. And it's not gotten incredibly longer. And it's just great. I don't know too many other ways to describe it. It's just great. And I can't really give too much critical feedback. The only thing that I would say is maybe slow down some parts a little bit to focus on what's going on a little bit more. Especially these later chapters have been kind of fat, but not really. I mean, it's not, once again, this is not great constructive criticism. If it were to not change, I'd be fine with it. But these later chapters, a little bit faster, very, very little bit. But otherwise, it's great. I think that, I don't know if I'll have a recommendation of the video, but this is definitely one of my favorite things to see that it has an update. And you know, it makes me very happy to see the chapter once from Kuma and then 5,000 times by everybody reblogging it, because everybody loves this thing. And you know, just go give it a read. The link will be in the description. You don't have to have a Tumblr to read it, but if you have Tumblr, you can follow Kuma on Tumblr and get updates every single time. And that's going to cover for the first part of it. I'm not going to be grading these. I don't know how the hell I'd even begin to grade them on like art and whatnot, but you know, it's just I'll leave it at it's great, and can carry on and move on to the next story, which I discovered earlier this week. It's going to be RWBYQuest by RWBYQuest on Tumblr. And this one actually does have a description for me to read, so everybody get ready for that. Ruby rose as a new student at Beacon, but soon after she arrives, strange things begin to happen. Students are disappearing, and strange noises can be heard in the halls. Circumstances gradually worsen, and eventually Beacon is no longer livable, and Ruby decides that she must escape. Bring as many of Ruby's friends as possible and escape from Beacon, keeping everyone alive in the process. Characters must be found before their information and status appear on the characters page. Use the Ask box to recommend an action. Please enjoy the adventure, working together with your fellow operators to escape from Beacon. So this is kind of a cool idea. It's a choose your own adventure style. I'm not busy. It is a choose your own adventure style of story, where you send in asks every single week, and people will get those asks, and then they'll be like, here's what happens. It's like, oh, this, and this. And I think that it is I think that it's great. I I enjoy the concept. I enjoy pretty much everything about this. It's one of my favorite things. It's the artwork is not great, so the artwork is not like taken time to be pristine to be the masterpiece. It's still very good. It's still better than anything that I can do, but the kind of very sketchy style art works, and especially that there are some more serious pieces. This is, I think, at this point, it's 102 quest happenings long, which is like 17 pages. It doesn't take too long to read. It only took me hour maybe, but it's great. It really is great. It's a cool idea. I've actually been wondering how it is that they choose which ask to do. Is it they or he? I don't know if it's one person or many. I like to think it's many. But it is what they do is, do they get an ask, and if they see it and it strikes them for being able to be included in the story, I wonder if that is like, that's how they do it, or if it's something else, or if it's like, oh, okay, you know, there's this, and I thought, you know, oh, okay, so this one came in more than anything else, then we'll do this. So I've been wondering about that, but you know, that might be in their FAQ, and I haven't actually read it yet. But regardless, it's phenomenal, and it's kind of the idea, the actual plot line behind it. I should probably cover this as well. Is fairly similar to that, where you have Ruby trying to escape from Beacon, and then there's her friends are disappearing and becoming, some of them are becoming entities, and the entities are basically, they're Grimm-esque, but not really. The entities are these things that want to kill, that want to kind of like kill or take over the students at Beacon and turn them into entities, and there's a ton of other things that happen around the entities and their existence. There's some complicated things that I don't want to say because it would spoil it, but it is just definitely go and read this because the idea is great. I really love the idea of entities. I really love some of the entities that we have seen. They're all really cool. I especially love getting the occasional higher res picture or higher detailed drawing, because when that happens, it's like, okay, shit just got real. It just got very serious, and you know, you have all of these characters like the heroes that we know and love, and it is heartbreaking in places too. It is absolutely heartbreaking. There's one scene in particular that comes to mind that I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's earlier on, and it's kind of like the discovery of something, and I just remember reading it and being like, I need a moment. Like I genuinely need a moment so that I can contemplate existence. And still debating whether or not actually finding it was a good thing or a bad thing, because god damn, that thing is emotionally hard, can be very hard to read. Actually, I finished reading it, and then the next day there was an update, so that was pretty sweet. Overall, I have to say that this is a great idea, and I really can't give you a definitive any definitive cons to this. I do think that this story is it's one of the more unique things that I've seen. It might be the most unique thing that I've seen that exists in the RWBY fandom. You have it covers an idea that's not been done really, with the entities, and it also takes shape in the form of an idea that has not been done in this kind of choose your own adventure style. I cannot stress enough how very cool and badass this is, and I believe that it's definitely worth everybody's time to go and read through this. It doesn't take too long. Once again, their Tumblr is going to be in there. If you click on their Tumblr, you can go down to chronological, and it'll be set up for you in that way, and you can just blaze through it. Just blaze. And absolutely, once again, worth everybody's time. Everybody that is watching this should definitely go and read this after or before Henceforward. Just go read everything that I talk about in this one, and it's great. It's so great. And that's going to conclude this particular story. So that is the end for RWBYQuest, but not yet, because that's still going on. And it's going to bring us to our last one, which is probably the one that is debatable as to whether or not people will consider it a comic. And it's going to be Summer Rose Court. Summer Rose Court is an alternate universe for Rooster Teeth's web series RWBY. Ruby Rose is the lost princess of the Kingdom of Vale and an heir to the titular Summer Rose Court. She is discovered and pulled from a peaceful desert life along with her adopted sister Yang back to the kingdom's capital of Beacon, where she must prepare for war against the creatures of Grimm. Along the way, she must recruit new allies, including Sir Weishni, the mysterious Faunus rebel Blake Belladonna, young and inexperienced soldier Jean Arc, the warrior priestess Pyronikos, the dragon monk Lyren, and the Viking commander Nora Valkyrie. Currently, it is being developed as a virtual novel with optional dating sim elements. There are no expected dates, considering that the real bulk of the work will start in December onwards, but we will keep you updated. So, everybody's probably confused. The full game is not out yet. It takes shape in a game, but it is a kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure style game, and it feels like a comic. It plays like a comic, and you know, just totally don't pay attention to the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and definitely don't check early on tomorrow. But this game, or this comic really, it has a demo out as of right now. It has a demo, which you would be able to find under downloads, and I played through it, played obviously, and the demo covers the prologue, which is nothing but dialogue schemes that you can that you read through, and then you click on to continue onwards, and you get very few options. One of them directly leads to enabler. Guess which? I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this right now. I did not pick the option that sounded like enabler. Anybody that knows me knows my distaste for the fact that I wouldn't say distaste. I'm not a fan of that ship. But you have, and then you can pick your own options, and you read through it, and there's music playing. It's comic strips basically, and it's great. I had a absolute blast playing through it. I think that it is a really cool story. The music behind it is honestly one of my favorite things. The music is great and is very well done, so kudos to the music team on that. I don't want to go through and read through everybody that's working on this, because goddamn, it's a lot of people that are working on this. A lot of time and a lot of effort going into this from a lot of people. It's probably one of the most I would guess it's one of the more challenging and labor intensive projects that is being made. So the general storyline actually was covered there. In this one you only meet Ruby, Ozpin, Glinda, and Yang. And Ember and Celica, which are two sand dragons, which, play through the game to find more out about them. But overall, this is really well done. Like, it is, so far, it is off to a great start. And if this is the demo, I cannot wait to see the full version, because the demo was phenomenal. The demo was wonderfully done, and I am seriously super excited for the full version of this game to come out. Playing along, the story flowed. The story flowed very, very nicely. The prologue was lengthy, but it wasn't lengthy without a purpose. Like, the prologue was lengthy for very good reasons, because it had to cover a bunch of different things that happened, including the creatures of Grimm and whatnot. And it was really, 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 really well done. The storyline behind this one is one of my favorites, just because it is so cool. Like, it's honestly going for the cool factor. It's really great. The artwork that is behind this, I will say this, is amazing. I adore the artwork. We actually just got released of Cinder, what Cinder will look like in Summer Rose Court, and I cannot definitively say who that was. That was fuck. Hey, I want to give proper credit here. Just, you know, when I can. Where is it? All right, well, I can't find it. I feel like I'm total schmuck. I can't find it. Oh well. But I want to say Zunies. I want to say Zunies on Tumblr, but that may not be accurate. And the concept art looks really, really cool. The art style actually carries all the way through the story of comic-ish, comically drawn-ish. I don't really know what the best way to describe it is, other than good, other than really, really freaking good. And I definitely think that everybody here. Actually, you know what? I said that there might not be a recommendation of the video. I'm going to make this my recommendation of the video. I'm going to say Zerba Rose Court is going to be my recommendation of the video. I think that everybody should play/read through it. And that because I think that everybody would enjoy it. It's AU of kind of like a medieval kingdom. Ruby's a princess. And she's going to have to save Vale because apparently there's no real other alternative. Excited to see the inclusion of Weiss. Excited to see the inclusion of Blake. Excited to see Team Juniper. I'm just excited. Get pumped! And I cannot wait for the full thing to come out. But I will. I can't wait, but I will because I have no other choice. And I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to be a good guy. I'm not going to pressure you guys. Make it as fast as you possibly can. But do that anyways. And yeah, when it's out, I can guarantee you got one download right here. But otherwise, that's going to conclude the discussion on Summer Rose Court, which also concludes this video. I hope that all of you enjoyed it. The big love fest that just went on for all these different comics because I'm not artistic at all, or visually artistic at all. So yeah, I like comics. I like seeing comics, even the shorter little ones, though I most likely will never be covering those. And yeah, I hope that all of you guys will give them a read. I hope that everybody here will enjoy these. And if you want me to do more episodes like this in the future, just let me know. I'll probably be revisiting Summer Rose Court no matter what, given the fact that it is not yet even close to being a full-length story. And I'll probably be revisiting other things too in the future. Maybe Henceforward, maybe, I might come back. I might come back and dabble a little bit. But otherwise, tune in tomorrow on roosterteeth.com for RWBY Volume 2 premiere. That's probably the most important thing happening tomorrow. But if you don't want to wait that long, let's just say check the thing early, and that little video feed that keeps popping up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Oh, look, there it is again. Yeah, that might be something that happens tomorrow as well. Who knows? I don't. I'm keeping it a mystery even to me. Nobody can know my secret. Otherwise, tune in. Oh, and also, sorry, tune in this Friday when I will have a new episode of Outlast in the Dark, and tune in next week when I play Minecraft and talk about a different assortment of stories. Next week's theme has not yet been revealed, but one of the stories on it actually has been revealed, and that is Gold by Hanu Sakushijin, and I forgot her name temporarily. And so tune in then and find out what the theme is and what the rest of the stories are. But otherwise, bully.